Are you a man of your word? That was the question asked to my boyfriend 10 plus years ago on the side of a Florida highway. That lesson and that question stuck with both of us. And today I'm telling you why that question is going to stop you from getting ghosted after sales calls that don't close on the call. So, hey there, I'm Salen. I am a scale and system strategist for service based women business owners. I help women scale their revenue, start a second business, get ready for a potential sale, or just step away and not have to work so many hours in their business. So we do all of that through my signature program, the Simply Rich Business Experience. This is a 12-month program where we get into your daily operations and rip off all of the duct tape. So that way we can get you out of the operations and have you step into the strategic leader role that you were meant to be in. So, today we're talking about that question. Are you a man of your word? So, let me give you a little bit of history. So, 10 plus years ago, my boyfriend and I were in Florida and we decided that we needed a golf cart because that's what you do in Florida is you get a golf cart, you drive around at night. And so we saw this golf cart. It was 3 hours north, and we were like, let's just hitch up a friend's trailer and go get it. Well, the trailer got a flat, the truck had an issue, there was traffic on the highway. And about 3 hours into this journey, when we weren't even halfway there, we called the seller and said, we're coming, but we're gonna be hours late. And he said, are you a man of your word? And my boyfriend was like, "Yes, of course," because what else would you say at that moment? I mean, what person would actually say no, right? Well, that sat with both of us, and we've referenced it for the past 10 years off and on. But back in April of this year, I was at a point after sales calls where I literally, at the end of a sales call, if someone couldn't make a decision on the call, I would say to them, I'm going to follow up with you. What date should I follow up? And they would pick the date, and I would say, okay, I'll follow you on this specific date. And they would agree. And then the day would come, and I would email them, and it would be crickets. Okay. Chirp, chirp. And so I said to myself, how do I fix this problem? Now, here's the thing most people would see this as a follow up problem when it really wasn't a follow up problem. What it was a sales call problem dressed up as a follow up problem, right? So it's not that they weren't responding to the follow up. I wasn't doing what I needed to do during the sales call. And so I added this question, are you a man of your word? In my own words. And since April, I have not had one follow up call be ghosted on the follow up day. So let me explain to you why this is important. So, one of the things that we do inside of the Simply Rich business experience is we get to the root cause of what actually the problem is, right? So, for instance, I was talking with this woman and she owned a preschool and she had a six-figure um, office manager who texted her one day and said, we're out of paper. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, boom, like you have someone who's six figures running your operation and they're telling you that you're out of paper. Um, why is that even happening? But in the typical Simply Rich business experience style, we don't judge people for what they're doing. We get to the root cause so we never have to fix it ever again. And so here's the thing, right? Maybe that person that is her office manager doesn't know where they order paper from, right? Like maybe she's new and she's never done office supplies, right? So we're lacking a system there. Maybe she doesn't have a company credit card. So maybe her onboarding wasn't done and we never generated a company credit card for her to go get paper. Maybe it's on auto ship and you haven't adjusted for the fact that you've had a boom in business and you're using more paper and we need to update that system. So it's not the fact that someone asked a question that they should not have to ask. The question is more to ask yourself, wide angle lens. Why is she asking the question? Why is this even a problem in the business? Right. And so let's get back to the sales call problem. So it was not a follow up problem that I had, right? I did the follow up. The problem was that during the sales call, I wasn't getting a commitment. And so now this is how sales calls end. I say, okay, we're going to follow up with you on August 8th. And that person says, yes, August 8th. And I say, I have one last question for you. And they're like, okay. I said, just so I know who I'm working with, what kind of person you are. When I follow up with you on August 8th, are you going to hit reply and give me an answer? Yes, maybe, no, whatever, but you're going to give me an answer. Or are you going to ghost me? Now, the best part about this question, other than the fact that no one's ghosting me, is the answers. They're hilarious, but they're also very true. I'm hearing things like, oh my God, I would never do that to you because I hate that feeling. Oh, I love this question so much because I'm experiencing that same thing. And so, the thing that I have learned in business and why I became a business coach is because I have 19 years of business experience. I've learned business a lot of times the hard way. And so, I love to share my experiences and lessons and how I fixed them and got through them. So that way you can have quicker, better results. And this is what the Simply Rich business experience is built on. It's built on the four core pillars that every single successful business utilizes. Think Amazon, Apple, Airbnb, but most small businesses undervalue because we're so focused on generating revenue that we never build the foundation in our business. So I've taken all that foundational information that most women do not have in their service business setup. And I've compiled it into a 12-month program that gets you from being an owner operator where everything runs through you all day, every day, and then getting you into that strategic leader role where you have the room to think strategically, plan, breathe, and scale your business sustainably. Start a second business if that's something that you want to do. Maybe just step away and work part time hours or prepare for a future sale if you're 3 to 5 years out. So, if this is something that's resonating with you, I would love to know in the comments. But if you're more like, hey, I need that kind of support and guidance in my business because, yes, everything does run through me. And yes, I'm getting calls similar to that woman who is out of paper. Then I want you to comment scale below, and you can find a time on my calendar where we can chat about where you are in business and what is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now, and where do you want to go, and what the gap looks like in between. And of course, you'll get to experience the Are You a Man of Your Word question. I look forward to chatting with you next week back here. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to send me a DM. See you later.